TrackBack. All right, so I'm going to dive in and just get this going here. So we're going to do new context thread. Let's get some action. Okay, willingness to pay data from engaged users during beta to inform pricing strategy. Okay, first off, we're going to want to test the feasibility of this user flow. Power user behavior, sustained engagement, 7 days in, 15 total log. They haven't seen WTP flow, demonstrates ongoing value, important state. WTP seen true, screen flow, screen imitation. Warm intro frames collaborate. I need to read this in detail actually before I promote it. Okay. Capture willingness to pay data from engaged users during beta to inform pricing strategy. And I don't know if it's like doing stuff or not. We're just going to assume that technology knows what it's doing. Okay. Core principles: privacy first, no PII, no health data, no device tracking, only anonymous usage metrics, and pricing feedback. Non-blocking users can dismiss and resume at any time. Never gave features during beta. Value-focused, asked about outcomes, solving their problems, not features. Data-driven, collect real feedback to Replit DB for analysis. Future-ready design to connect with accounts later without breaking existing data. Okay. All right. Next feature we want to add in is a built-in willingness to pay survey instead of a paywall. We don't have any payment yet, but we want to get things set up so that we can implement subscriptions down the road. So considering that, here's my spec. My primary question is the feasibility around priority 1, first strong correlation discovered. Do we actually have the ability to measure that and trigger the willingness to pay based on that metric? Is that functionality existent in the app? Validate that, review the plan, and let's discuss. Correlation strength, 3 active targets and 10 plus total logs. They haven't seen WTP flow yet, shows commitment and engagement. Sustained engagement, 7 days active and 15 logs. They haven't seen WTP flow, demonstrates ongoing value. Important state management. Once triggered, WTP flows flag, don't auto trigger again. Users can always manually access from the profile. I love that. That's so great. That's so great. That's what's a great thing about building your own apps. You don't have to, you can build it however you want. You don't have to cram things down customers' throats, you know? Like I have so many gripes as a user experience professional. Every app that I open, I'm like, I wish you could just do it better. Well, now you can. Now you can. So the 4-screen flow, the invitation, warm intro that frames this as collaboration, not gatekeeping. Headline: you're getting results. Show their actual stats. You've tracked X issues and discovered Y patterns. Before we talk about pricing, we'd love your input on what TrackBack should cost. Your feedback shapes our founding member pricing, and you'll get a special discount for helping, 40% off for life. Actions: primary button, help shape pricing, maybe later. Behavior: fully dismissible, X button, tap outside the mode, or maybe later. If dismissed, user can resume from the profile at any time. Scenario: anchored to the outcome value, not the feature value. Hello, quick scenario. Imagine TrackBack helps you fully identify what's causing your primary target name in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Outcomes achieved: no more guessing, no more wasted doctor visits, clear action plan, problem solved. With that outcome in mind, continue. Behavior: not dismissible. Users committed by clicking the help shape pricing can navigate back to screen 1 if they change their mind. Okay. I like that. The question: collect WTP data through 3 complementary methods. Price slider: what would solving your target name be worth per month? Yep. This price feels like radio buttons, vertical stack, a steal. Fair value: getting expensive, too expensive. Single selection, visual highlight when selected, updates as users change slider value. Part C, tier preference, A/B test. Which plan would you choose? Show 2 tiers side by side. Free, 5 active investigations, unlimited logging, AI correlation analysis, full data report. Price $0. TrackBack unlimited, unlimited investigations, everything in free. Priority processing, advanced insights, export sharing. A/B tests, see below. Selection: user taps 1 tier card to select it. Visual highlight on selected card can change selection before submitting. Yep. Submit feedback, disabled until all 3 parts are completed. Slider has been moved. Perception selected. Tier selected. Enable. Say clearly view. Okay, we're going to, if $4.99 is okay and they don't move it, then we don't want to prevent that. So just perception selected and tier selected. Enabled state is clearly visible. Yep. Data sync. Testing checklist before deployment. Force correlation found. Filters doesn't re-trigger after being seen. User flow. User persistence. To Replit. Profile integration. Works without internet, saves locally, posts later. Yep. Success metrics, post-paid analysis after collecting response to analyze. Implementation prompt. Building willingness to pay research for TrackBack with these requirements. Core flow, force screen modal, triggers first or power user behavior, sustained engagement. User can dismiss on screen run, resume from profile anytime. Screens 2 to 4 not dismissible. Storage for profile display, post same data to API to be an endpoint. If post fails finally, no user experience unchanged. All data is anonymous, no PI, no health info. Screen 3 component, screen 3 components, price slider. We're just gonna, hey, come on. Okay, boom. And then, so when it does that, it's when we gotta go over here and go. And then we're gonna say, screen 3 components slider, screen 3. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was called out so the default value is cool. Let's save that out of here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, plan, let's go. Okay, we're gonna get the WTP functionality in place. We're gonna revise the UI. We're going to add the customer feedback cycle and then go from there. Just to pay, see pasted. Okay, willingness to pay, and then customer feedback integration and bug reporting. Willingness to pay. Why? User accounts. Right. I don't think we need accounts for now. We want to emphasize that this is secure, local, just for you. I feel like anonymous is okay for now until folks want to sign up and start paying. Then they create an account. Otherwise, it's completely free, completely open. Do what you will with it. The data is yours. When you create an account, then we want to be very clear about what privacy implications this has. What does this mean for you using the app, etc. But again, it's all the prioritized as private, secure, local. TestFlight status. I do have my App Store Connect. Actually, I don't know if I have my App Store Connect set up yet. I do have a developer account approved and authorized, and I'm ready to go there. Calculates correlation using percentage field of 0 to 100, which represent, okay. So 0.7 is 70, that's great. Correlations are calculated there and returning percentage fields. The insight screen already loads all correlations and sources by percentage. Any correlation with percentage qualifies as strong correlation trigger. Trigger point would be right after correlations are calculated, displayed on the insight screen. We check if any results hit 70%, then wait 2 seconds and show WTP flow. Correlations are calculated on demand when the user visits the insights. The trigger would fire when they view their insights and strong correlation is present, which actually aligns perfectly with respect. Let them appreciate the discovery. Hook into the existing load data flow on the screen. Okay, my only concern is that users are going to encounter this pop-up after they log their first correlation because the correlation is going to be 100%. So we need to have some sort of like historical data loop as well as correlation. Do we have that accounted for yet? All right, so I need to read. I like to read through the whole thing before I hit reply. Correlations are calculated. Inside screen already loads. Correlation source and percentage. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Already read that. Correlations are calculated on demand. We'd hook into existing load data flow on that screen for Predator 2 and 3. Data needed. Active targets count. Total log stays active. Is all available through the existing storage layer. No new tracking instructions needed. Good. A few questions, observations on the spec before I build the task. Storage approach. Async storage, which is already used throughout the app. Same concept, just to answer your questions, one, storage approach. I fully trust you. I apologize if the input that I gave you was over-engineered. Those are just references on how to do it. I fully trust you to do it the way you need to do it. So async storage sounds great. Number 2, Replit DB for backend. Again, I fully trust you to do whatever implementation you want. So that sounds great. Number 3, modal versus screen. Your spec says modal that feels like a card in React Native. Modal stack screen with a transparent background so the app context stays visible behind it, matching your intent. The slightly transparent background sounds good. Let's go with that for now. Publishing. Auto scale. Manage, see all usage. Domain. Published. Public. Ready to publish you'll need an active developer account. After you can test your app on TestFlight, then submit it to the App Store for review. But specifically for the App Store Connect, I don't know what that means. If user logs one target event, one factor variance will show 100%, which would immediately trigger the if you've actually gotten any real value from that. It's a bad experience. Here's how I'd solve it. Add a minimum data threshold for priority 1, correlation with the percentage 7%, and at least 5 total targets. Yeah. Target events for that target is statistically meaningful. Yes. 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 That sounds great. Okay. 5+ events. Okay, I'm folding this in and everything's great to go. This is awesome stuff. Thank you so much. By the way, just for your own knowledge and for the archives here is some feedback I got from Replit, starting with my reply to Replit and its conclusion. Okay, boom, launch. Okay, UI polish our system. Oh yeah, let's hit go over here. Set up data storage and checks, build 4-screen survey pop-up flow, create endpoint to save survey answers, show survey pop-up after delay, add survey link to profile, test entire survey process end to end. And we're going to go, hi, I know this is going to cost me money, but I want to do it right. Boom, let's go. All right, it's doing what it's doing. So while that works, let's go over here and read. Immediate priorities, UI polish, interface doesn't feel right yet. User needs stability and clarity. Chart stays at top. Sticky record button at the bottom. For those viewing the first time, I'm always going to pronounce that word record because I DJ. And when I see that, it says record. It's a record. You're making a record anyways. When you hit the record button, you're making a record. It works. Records. Chart color refinement. Special effects removed due to crashes. Want them back if stable. Edit functionality is inconsistent. Yes. Okay. Product decisions needed navigation. Do we move a hamburger menu? We hate this. Integrate record button navigation. Move navigation to top. Something else entirely. Prompt Replit main screen needs layout fixes. Charts fix at the top. Bottom navigation bar doesn't adapt to light dark mode and conflicts with record button. Explore options, integrate navigation with record button, move nav to top, propose and alternatives, also restore any chart visual effects. No. But thank you though. Customer feedback mechanism, problem when things break, and they will. We need to capture what happened from the user perspective. What users should be able to do, attach a screenshot, record voice describing the issue, or type it out. Optionally provide contact info if they want follow-up, send to you for review. Okay, store feedback somewhere accessible, Replit DB, or even just a file. Include context, timestamp, device ID, no health data, no PII unless user explicitly provides contact info. Whisper Flow has an interesting way. It's like, if you want us to reach out to you, give us your email address so I can get back to you. Otherwise, just thanks for the feedback. Okay, make it obvious when something goes wrong. Don't hide the errors, surface them gracefully, and give users a path to help you fix it. Needs to pay, survey deferred to parallel thread. You're workshopping this separately. Don't implement it yet. Well, we're starting with the WTP, so there we go. Okay, this sounds good. So this is our final deployment here. So I want to get the main thread synced up with what Replit status is here. That said, let's dive back into the flow. So I hit my usage limits here in Claude and had to do a bunch of work directly in Replit. So I want to get you up to speed on where things are at. I'm currently integrating a willingness to pay survey into the app instead of a paywall. I'm really happy with the workshopping that I did in our parallel thread on monetization. And the basics of that are summarized as such. So for final deployment, we're locking things down and we're integrating the willingness to pay, customer feedback, removing any dead-end features that aren't fully functional in the UI, officially removing support for Android, polishing up the final thing and getting it ready for deployment. I've got a parallel thread on the deployment checklist. So if anything, let's start with having you give me perspectives on what we need for full feature completeness for the competition moving forward, given all this information. What our previous next steps were versus where we're at now, and then maybe generate a document that I can save for a backlog. All right, well, let's follow on. I always find useful insights following the Replit output because it makes decisions that affect the architecture of how things are going to be down the road. So it's really good to have your brain in the loop. as Replit's going here. I'm just noticed huge improvements. So factor states, regime changes, understanding the full code base. Storage help us trigger logic and build force being flow in backend. Good to have all the context. Okay, good. Task when it's done, let me clarify move. Storage layer looks great. Force being WPT, WP, screen navigator. Okay. 2 and 3 complete. Okay. All right, this is pretty straightforward. Well-wired WT flow handles both trigger result manual programs. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, it's testing. Reconcile where we were planning to go versus where you actually landed, then give you a clear picture. Per item timestamps. Today view, toggle UI polish, live chart updates, correlation analysis, bidirectional explorer, elimination protocols. That I need to verify. Target polarity, auto detects positive, negative, name icon, color polarity, factor states, unclear, dead end removal, Android removal, stability pass, onboarding. Yeah, onboarding should have empty states. Yep, error messaging, loading states, nice to have, factor states, inline add, iterative, photo, chart, visual polish, parser, fine tuning. Question, before I generate the backlog doc factor states, does this get built? Deadline for having a live TestFlight link is 25 hours from now. It's currently Thursday at 8:15 p.m. and it's due Friday at 11:59 p.m. Some of the details of the implementation are slightly different. Like I still need to modify the edit view and some of the specific line items are not in place, photos being one of them. It went ahead and refactored the charts, so it's got its own way of doing that. Actually, I've got a parallel thread going for the final launch checklist, so I might take the conversation over there, but I'm going to load where I'm at with that checklist right now for your reference, and then I might come back to you later for future product planning. So I'm just creating a bookmark here, and then we'll pick up the bigger picture product discussion after the launch. All right, so we're focusing in here. I'm going to pollute the context and lose too much. Okie dokie. Helps, opens it all 4 steps. Insight screen trigger. When correlations load, it checks all 3 priority conditions and automatically shows the WTP modal with a 2-second delay for correlation triggers or 1 second for other triggers. Use a ref to prevent duplicate shows in the same session. Profile screen subscription section shows current plan free beta with either. Help shape pricing if no feedback submitted yet, or feedback summary if already submitted showing submission date. Indicated price perception plus an update my feedback button, both automatically trigger path from insights. Okay, I just want to clarify, this should not trigger when you click the insights button. It should trigger when an insight has been discovered from the app. I imagine most people are going to be on the log screen at all times. So it shouldn't be triggered when you click insights. It should just be the moment the app itself has determined a correlation strength based on the criteria, that's the trigger, not the insights button. So verify that that's how it's working. Plan mode, EX. Oh, scary. Okay. Right. Currently, the trigger checks runs when the insight screen loads. That's not the right moment. Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. That is correct. Agent tools, and move this down to medium. No, we're going for TestFlight tonight, baby. We're doing it. Okay, so we're going to get this in place first. Next, I might, I want to get the UI fixes in place because I need to see it working right. That's just my own designer brain. We're going to get the UI fixes, and then we're going to get the customer feedback in place. And then we're going to test, and we're just going to remove anything that doesn't work, like this voice responses. I don't think that actually works. I don't think it's built. I don't think there's anything in the spec about it. So get that out of the UI. We want to test the targets and insights screen, refine that UI a little bit clunky. You need to get the colors working on here. Edit modes. Yeah. All right. UI polish is next. I don't like how these factors are down here and the animations got weird. They changed. I also kind of want to remove the background from these so that these are just cards. and these guys, because even though these are neutral colored, they stand out more than the ones that actually have colors. So that UI is confusing. Yeah. We are moving right along. I'm gonna pop on some music, and I just had a thought. Actually, I can't stream music because it's illegal. Music is evil. Do not listen to music while streaming. All right, well, I'm listening to really good music, so you should listen to really good music too. If you want to listen to the same music as me, the artist is Ishome, Ishome. Carpet Watcher is the name of the album. Moody electronic techno breaks. It's the good stuff. Where are we at? Done. Here's what I changed. Okay, I move the trigger. I want to test those insights because it looks like just everything is everything there. Okay. All right, I went to the profile page, clicked the button, and the first time it said I've tracked like 100 entries and discovered 0 patterns. I thought that the 0 patterns was interesting, so what's that about? I then clicked maybe later, clicked around the app, and then came back to it, and now it says I've tracked 0 entries and discovered 0 patterns. So what's going on here? Okay, navigation. Profile. Okay, 0 patterns. There's the whole notch on iPhones, which is now a floating notch. Takes up even more screen real estate, so that's cool. Okay, Apple. Bar, sticky button, record, and type. Kind of like that. Fab is kind of what I was thinking. I'm okay with it obscuring content, so long as there's enough buffer on the bottom to like slide past it. That's okay. Integrated bottom bar. No. Okay. Got it. Perfect bookmark mode. Where we're at. 24 hours. Status core features complete. Survey integrating. Monetization spec complete. Factor states. Inline add. Iterative voice refinement. Photo attachment. Parse. Fine tune for when you return. Yeah, looks great. Type. Yeah, monetization. We're done with that conversation. Final launch checklist. Actually, you know what? I do want the product design strategy. We're going to talk about these. Sounds great. While we're wrapping up, I want you to help me think through some design decisions on polishing up the UI. Let's start with the navigation and record. Currently, the data chart at the top and the record entry buttons are scrollable in line. So I'm going to make those sticky. But we also need to adjust the navigation. Currently, the navigation does not theme with the rest of the app, so it's always ugly and bright. I do kind of like always showing it at the bottom of the screen, but then we also have the record button. So let's clarify. Here's the idea so far working with it. I kind of want the record button in the middle of the screen, and then when you toggle over to text, the record button like slides over to the left. So you can still do voice if you want, but it opens up the text input and then the keyboard slides up from the bottom. You can type. You know, I've wondered if Replit, for that developer testing mode, might want to be able to just like pre-populate an app state or duplicate your app state and load it in or something like that. Because that's a problem any developer encounters is the blank slate problem. Like every single time you test a new feature, the app has no data on like your local deploy unless you pre-seed the database. So that's a note for later feedback for Replit. Honestly, it just takes a little extra time, but as I'm thinking about it out loud, it kind of makes sense because Replit has to go through and like test all the features to make sure that the whole system's running and saving and parsing and triggering. And so it actually kind of works, but it does take a little bit of extra time. I think some of it's a bit redundant. I'm probably gonna. It's so interesting working with these multiple tab flows and to be able to produce things in parallel. I've been kind of thinking about my life like that, especially after like a deep vibe code session where I'll be like washing the dishes and I'm like, oh man, I should like open a new tab and go do laundry or something. I'm like, that's not how the world works, Jeff. Not yet, anyways. Soon. Maybe when we can virtualize ourselves. Yikes, that's scary. If you've ever seen the show Black Mirror, check out the episode Joan is Awful. It's so good. The whole Black Mirror is mostly good. Some of it's terrible. Yikes. But yeah, Joan is awful is awesome. Just kind of thinking about that, like virtualization of your brain. No spoilers though. Said too much. Okay, record. Wow, I actually said record. Record button behavior, default state, voice mode, chart, timeline, timeline insights. The record button should be there at all times. Oh, here we go. Okay, it loads correctly when you open it. Let's see. Let's see here. Boom. Hey, that looks a lot better. Look at that. 75 entries, 34 patterns. I mean, granted, most of that's kind of dummy data, but like, that's really great. 34 patterns. Okay. Quick scenario. Imagine TrackBack helps you fully identify what's causing your energy. Okay, so we're going to want to take some notes here. Yay, that looks so cool. I love how it shows the actual numbers. It really helps me to see the value that I'm getting out of the product. That's awesome. Let's go through a couple of UI refinements and get this moving. Step 1, move the X button to the upper right corner in line with the progress dots. On screen 2, let's adjust the wording a little bit to make this universal because the way it's worded right now doesn't sound right in certain scenarios. It currently says, imagine TrackBack helps you fully identify what's causing your energy in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That doesn't make sense in a human readable format. So let's change to say, imagine TrackBack helps you fully identify what's affecting your target name in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And let's think about that. Is that going to work for all of the potential targets? Okay, so my targets are what's affecting your energy, anxiety, headache, what's affecting your rash, what's affecting your toothache, what's affecting your feeling fine, what's affecting your mood, your energy level, your acid, affecting. Yeah. I think affecting is the right way to say it. Okay. On screen 2, 3, and 4, again, let's have the back button in the upper left in line with the navigation, not below with the title. Screen 3, I tried adjusting the slider and this happened. Is this price dynamic? That was a different thread. That was monetization. Okay, screen 3. Screen 3. Where would you be? Screen 3. After submitting the survey, it said, thank you. I clicked a button, but then the app went into this state. Something went wrong. Please reload the app to continue. Try again. Clicking try again takes me back to the log screen. And now anytime I click on the profile, it goes back to that error screen. Okay. Have a think about it. This is interesting doing a live stream. I'm significantly slower because I'm describing my process. So that's fascinating. I'm sure that's going to change as I get used to it, but yeah, it definitely slows me down. But also gets me thinking about stuff. So it's a different flow. It's just different. Several issues to fix here. Let me break them down. X button position. Yep. Screen 2. What's causing your target? What's affecting your target? Yep. With positive and negative metrics. Exactly. Because what's causing your good mood? It's the drugs. What's fixing your headache? It's the drugs. Okay. What's affecting back button position? 2, 3, 4. Up. Yep. Oh, I did not check to see if it was on step 4. Right. I can't get back there. So, well, Flannery is producing $9 likely to touch press handlers calculating position incorrectly, crash after submission. Yep. Likely data access error on the response object. Yeah, probably the NAN. Let me quickly check. Let me check. See the issues. X button and back buttons. Yep. Handle slider uses native event location X, which can be undefined or incorrect on certain platforms, especially native. The slider needs to be more robust position calculation, layout measurement approach, crash on profile for submission. If monthly price sees NAN, yeah, calling 2 fixed on NAN returns NAN. Sounds good. Nanner. Do medium. YOLO. probably be bug fixing on light, but I don't know. I like having the context window because it remembers what it just coded and it can reference the chat thread. So I suspect that that bug fixing is good on medium autonomy. I'd be curious to hear what everybody else's experiences are. I feel like for some of the UI tweaks that we make, I might go to light mode, but one thing I have noticed more in the past than now, Replit's come a long way. I keep saying that, but it's come a long way in 8 months since I started using it. It used to be like if you had it on medium autonomy and you ask for a design change, it would like refactor the back end. And you're like, I literally just needed you to adjust the CSS. Let me give you the CSS, do this to this element. And it's like refactoring the front end, rebuilding the templates, and you see a whole new screen. I'm like, wow. So in situations like that, having it in light autonomy would be good, but I haven't noticed that anymore. It doesn't seem to be doing that. So, yeah, I'd be curious to hear what other people are finding the use cases for light, medium, and full autonomy. Personally, how I've been using it is new features I put on high autonomy mode. When I'm doing bug fixing, I put it on medium. And then when I'm doing superficial changes, wording changes, positioning changes, I put it on light. Because I gave it a whole bunch of bugs to fix at the same time, I put it on medium. We'll see how it might refactor the modals with those navigation changes I gave it. Oh, here it says nav row restructure, move X and back buttons out of each step and into the top level modal header alongside the progress dots. Yeah. I mean, that actually is kind of a structural refactor because those progress dots are a separate element from the content of the page. It's a global element. Well, I don't know about global, but it's a parent level element. So that makes sense. Refactor mode. Okay. Cool. So this is something that I've noticed as well with vibe coding, especially when Replit's doing a big task. It'll take a while. Sometimes it'll take like 8 minutes to perform a major refactor, implement a new feature. So it's interesting because now you're like sitting waiting for output. I've been keeping myself busy reading, like kind of going back and forth, like planning, implement, read the results of the planning. Okay, this is what I need to do next, passing it back and forth. And so that keeps my time occupied. When you're kind of like just waiting, you have now minutes of free time. I found that actually playing you can play video games and vibe code at the same time pretty well. I play Diablo and Breath of the Wild, Zelda. That's about it. Breath of the Wild is a lot easier because you can pause it. Diablo is real time all the time, so you have to like tell town portal or be in a safe area. But you can actually like game and play at the same time. Now, your quality will go down if you do not be the human in the loop. You got to be the human in the loop. You have to read this shit. I mean, you don't have to, but in my opinion, the quality of your output is going to be significantly lower, and your understanding of what you're building is going to be significantly absent if you don't. So, that said, you might have like 30 minutes where you're not playing the game and it times out in the background. I'm looking at you, Diablo 4, but it was an interesting experience. I spent a night vibe coding and playing video games at the same time and got so much work done. I got so much work done. More work done that night than I have in like weeks of traditional development and design before AI. So fascinating experience. It was just, yeah. Yeah, let's see what we're talking about. Design. Record button, I have a couple thoughts. One is my personal preferred method is to press and hold to record, release to stop recording. Some people are used to tapping to start, tapping to stop. I kind of feel like we should support both if possible. If you press and hold, then it knows that it should stop recording when you release. If you tap it, it should start recording. And you tap it again, it should stop recording. So let's do that. One. Two, I would love to have haptic feedback when it starts recording, like a medium buzz and a short buzz when it stops. Okay. Navro redesign. Help shape pricing. Okay. Inline. Great. And it closes it successfully. Help shape pricing. Good. Okay. Quick scenario back. See if I can do this here. Camera focus. It didn't work. So let's Looking good so far. On step 3, when I adjust the slider, it drops all the way to the left to 99 cents a month, and I cannot adjust it from there. I should be able to tap anywhere on the line to adjust it or click and drag to slide it. I'm realizing I should actually test this on an actual app too. Practice should the latest. I'm not waiting on here. I'm waiting on me. That's what I'm waiting on. Steal. Otherwise, it worked and saved great. I'm noticing on the profile page now, it has the feedback overview between the current plan and the update my feedback button. I'd like it to be as part of the field of update my feedback so that you can, it says update my feedback. And then below that in the same section, you see what feedback you've provided. Tapping that will put you back into the flow to update it. Oh, I just went straight to build. That's fine. I hope I get to sleep tonight. I pulled it all night earlier this week. I normally don't like doing that. Part of this whole experiment for me is trying to use the work ethic that I promote, that I prefer to adopt. And that is 4-day work weeks. When my body is feeling exhausted, when my brain is feeling exhausted, take a break, take care of myself first, my needs first, my friends, my family, my life. That's priority. And also, when I really get in the flow and I really get excited, sometimes I like to work really hard. This week, I was a day behind where I kind of wanted to be, and then hit my flow like 8 p.m. and just got into it. So I ended up pulling an all-nighter, which I normally don't like to do, but I was just feeling it. I was in the flow. So I did that. Now I'm paying for it. And well, these are the choices we make. Okay, so let's see here. Hold to record. Oh, it updated night mode. Night mode works on the mobile now. I don't know if yeah, you can see on the screen on the computer there, it right there. It's got white and it looks ugly, but on the mobile itself, it actually looks really good. That looks great. Okay. So let's see, how's my day today? Woke up with extremely low energy at 8:30 a.m. My lower back really hurt. I ended up going to the chiropractor at 10:30 and he pretty much fixed my back. That was really good. I had a cup of coffee right after that. Had another cup of coffee 2 hours later and another cup of coffee 4 hours after that. And now I have acid reflux. All right, let's see how it does. Low energy, lower back pain. Yep, 8:30, severity of 4. Chiropractor visit helped, 10:30. Coffee at 10:30, coffee at 12:30, coffee at 2:30. Acid reflux, 8:59. Yep. Ooh, my acid reflux actually started about 3 p.m. Interesting. Okay, so what I just did was I hit the record more button because I wanted to add more to the log, and it dropped me back to the home screen and cleared my whole log. All that I just put in. That's frustrating. Okay. We're going to go ahead and save that one though. Woke up at 8:30 with extremely low energy. Woke up at 8:30 with extremely low energy and a lot of lower back pain. So I went to the chiropractor at 10:30 and that really helped the back pain. Then I had a cup of coffee, had another cup of coffee 2 hours later, another cup of coffee 4 hours after that. It is timing out or something. Low energy, 8:30, lower back pain, chiropractor 10:30, back pain at 10:30 too. Coffee 11:30, 1:30, 3:30. Yeah. Lower back pain and back pain. Oh, yep, that was looking good. Well, it's because it's testing. That's why it's reloading. I'm like, what? About to complain. I want to talk to the manager. Okay, good. The AB is working. $7 a month. Let's see what that database is looking like. Okay, a couple things. I'm noticing that, for one, the AB testing is correctly going back and forth. But B, once I've already seen a certain pricing in that flow, I feel like it should lock in whether it's the A or the B pricing on step 3. That's a scary number for me. It's too high. All right, so I'm going through the app, and testing out the feature. And honestly, I'm noticing that for the A/B testing step, when I see $4.99 a month, I feel okay with it. But when it shows me $6.99 a month, I get scared at that pricing personally. That's got to mean something, right? I don't feel like I would click on it. But of the two options, free or $7, I feel torn because seven's too much, but I do want it. So I don't want to select free. What do you think? Okay, that's all well and good, but how do I capture that in this form? And is that form correctly capturing that? How do I get that insight out of the data that it's being saved? Usage limits. Really? I've prompted these two things for 3 hours and I hit my daily usage. God damn it, Claude. Like, this really pisses me off. This is happening daily. I'm paying $20 a month to get 3 hours a day out of this shit. No, that is literally 11 p.m. I got to wait 2 hours before I use Claude again. I guess does not capture the data needed to validate the 7-event threshold or understand correlation quality. No, you missed my question entirely. I'm not talking about 7-event threshold. I'm talking about the friction that I'm experiencing when I see $7 a month and that I don't want to pay it. Ugh, man, sleep deprivation sucks. What the? This is not. What's going on here? Oh, it's because of this usage thing. Oh my God. $5? Yeah, fuck you. $5. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. Yeah, so it just deleted the response. I don't understand. Oh, this is so stupid. I just totally lost my complete train of thought. All right. I gotta clear my head. That just like completely killed my flow. So I'm gonna stop streaming. Yeah, that's what happens when you Jeff around find out. Jeff that one up. All right, peace.